Thank you. Can you hear me? Can I ask, can we all just come in a wee bit? There's not that many of us left. So, and I'm not very good with these things. And to those of you who've stayed this whole long, wet, cold day, well done. That's the Scottish spirit at work. Okay, I'm going to dedicate the next 5 minutes to one Willie McCrae. Willie, wherever you are, I hope you're watching us, because we're going to finish what you started. Right, here's the question. Why are we all here today, instead of watching, along with millions of others worldwide, the coronation of Chuck III? Maybe it's because we're offended by the spectacle of the ruling class parading its God-given right to reign over us through the symbolism of an English feudal ceremony. If you want something to make the point of all that symbolism a bit clearer, it's written on a plaque across from St Bartholomew's Hospital in London, at the site where William Wallace was tortured to death. It says, "Serve and obey." Is that what we're objecting to? Or maybe we see the whole pageant celebrating a history of empire, international inhumanity, slavery, genocide, and selling that to the people as something to get patriotic about. But no one here feels patriotic about it. Not about the loot taken from so many nations, and not about our stone of destiny, or rather, the lump of Perth sandstone that has stood for English claims to overlordship of Scotland for about 700 years. So here's an idea. Instead of bewailing our stone of destiny getting taken away, how about we turn the whole thing round? What Charles will be crowned on is a fake, probably a clergy stain. So how about laughing instead of crying about it? Imagine if instead of standing like an obedient lackey to the side of the royal lump of stone, Humza had pointed at it, laughed his head off and walked away. And by the way, Salvo's thinking of presenting His English Majesty with a golden loo roll to go with the royal lavish thing. Maybe we reject the ostentatious wealth and privilege, the scene of extravagance, when so many people in this toxic union are destitute, hungry, homeless, and sick. Maybe it's all that and something more. Maybe your gut tells you something else is terribly wrong with what happened today, but you don't know exactly what. Well, I'd like to tell you what your gut knows. Today, an English monarch took an English oath and imposed the institution of the English crown across Britain. And that is a crime against this nation and this kingdom of Scotland, against every Scot alive today, and every Scot who ever lived and died for what it means to be a Scot. Because what it means to be a Scot is to be the crown of Scotland. That is what still guarantees that the people of Scotland are sovereign. They are the sovereign crown of the nation. And this union, brought about by a forced treaty that the English establishment had no intention of ever honouring, has never had the lawful right to touch the crown of Scotland or anything it owns. Some people say this is all ancient history, all over and done with. If you believe that, I have news for you. Scotland's oil and gas, our water and our renewables are plundered now, today, in right of the crown. Not some joint crown created for the brand new Union in United Kingdom in 1707, but the same old English crown that has always coveted Scotland. That crown says it all belongs to His English Majesty, not the Scottish crown, which is the people. That's how they take our oil and gas and renewables and water and all the rest today. And that's why we're paying so much for what we already own. But hold on. Scotland never came under the rule of the English crown in 1707 because no queen or parliament, English or Scottish, and no treaty they made had the power to extinguish the Scottish crown or replace it with England's. And the British establishment knows that. 300 years of military control, cultural, legal, social and physical genocide has been trying to wipe out Scotland's collective memory. Wipe out the record of the terms and limits of a bogus treaty, but one England agreed and is bound to. Wipe out the memory of a people that they were and are the Crown of Scotland. But I've news for that establishment. Scotland is waking up. Scotland remembers, and Scotland is rising. I'm sorry for keeping you. I've just a wee bit to do. What's important here is that no nation in the world has ever achieved liberation without a powerful sense of its own identity. And there's no more powerful clue to our identity than the truth that we are together the Crown of Scotland. That we are the power in this nation and we can shape our destiny. As Salvo says, know your past, shape your future. How do we do it? Salvo's working to support a liberation movement and an international campaign to expose this union as a fraud. A fraud. Look underneath. Lift up the Union Jack. You know what you'll find? Just the English establishment strutting around in disguise, as vicious towards their own people as all the other so-called lower classes of the world. If you've not signed up for Liberation or Salvo, do, and get your friends and family to do it as well. But that alone won't set us free. I can't tell you exactly what the eventual route to freedom is going to look like. But I can tell you it will take all of us together. And we can start, those of us that are left, here and now. No one here is SNP or ISP or ALBA or any other party because we can't be our beliefs. That's the whole gender reform thing, that you could be something because you believe it, and we all know that's not true, right? Beliefs can change. What we are is what can't change. What we are is Scots. That cannot change, and that's what unites us. So, you've heard, everybody's heard about the invitation we were all given to take the feudal oath to His Most English Majesty. An invitation to commit treachery against the nation of Scotland and ourselves by surrendering our sovereignty to an English crown. How dared they? So, how about sending Scotland's answer? So I have a few words. They've been taken and expanded from the legally required Scottish Oath of Accession. That's the one Charles won't take. If I say it line by line, will you say it with me?
Yes.
I faithfully promise.
I faithfully promise.
The lawful rights and rents.
The lawful rights and rents.
With all just privileges.
With all just privileges.
Of the Crown of Scotland, which is the people of this nation.
Of the Crown of Scotland, which is the people of this nation.
I shall claim.
I shall claim.
I shall call to account.
I shall call to account.
All those who have betrayed, transferred, or undermined it.
All those who have betrayed, transferred, or undermined it.
Theft, oppression, and wrongdoing.
Theft, oppression, and wrongdoing.
Against this people.
Against this people.
I shall answer with justice, equity, and the restoration of our rights.
I shall answer with
of our laws and the common good of our sovereign community. So help me. Now, I was going to say, let's give ourselves a round of applause, but instead let's do something else. Let's turn around to whoever's around you, beside you, and if you're a hugger, hug, and if you're a handshaker, shake hands. Let's embrace each other as the crown of Scotland staking its claim. Did you feel it today? Scotland is waking up. Scotland remembers. And Scotland is rising.